So I really would like to boost my live content, my TikTok account, and I'm getting all these videos coming through that offer useful tips on how to boost your page, how to do well on TikTok. It's all very overwhelming, you know. They say use a hookup. They say use a hook, a story, and a call to action in your posts, and at the same time they say be yourself, be authentic, you know. And last week somebody came on one of my games, and he was, because I wasn't talking much, he was all like, you're not talking much, you're not saying anything. I'm asking you a question, trying to have a conversation, and you're not saying anything back. And ready. Even though I was having convo with him, but I was probably a bit short with my answers and whatever. And then he was like, oh, if you're going to do social media, if you're going to be on here and not saying anything, then what's the point in that then? You're not being entertaining, you're just being boring and this and that. You've got to show your personality and this and that. So I'm the sort of person when, basically, it just got my back up. I said to him, listen, I don't come on here to be shouted at and to argue with people. So it just basically got my back up a little bit, and ever since then, it's just really, sometimes I tend to overthink things in my mind. And then so he's just got me thinking, oh, maybe I'm not funny enough. Maybe I'm not being entertaining enough. He's just got me thinking a lot, overthinking about myself too much. But people say with social media, they say, oh, you should show your personality, or sometimes they say, oh, you don't have any personality. But actually what they mean when people say, oh, you don't have any personality, what they actually mean is, you're probably not being loud, and funny in this sort of way. But just because you see somebody on social media doesn't mean that person automatically is very talkative and is very loud, but maybe their personality is just naturally quiet or calm or humble, and that is their personality. They don't have to be outwardly extrovert and boisterous all the time just because you see that person on social media. Some people on social media are more reserved, are more quiet, are more mellow, and are more relaxed. And maybe to people that comes across as, to some people, as them being rude or I don't know, obnoxious or whatever, when the person's not being rude or obnoxious. They're just being themselves. They're just being mellow. They're just being quiet. Yeah. Maybe it's just not translating into a particular perception.
John Gina now and again Beche, Amal of God.
It's got me questioning a lot. What am I doing on social media? Yeah, questioning myself too much. Yeah, so today I've been doing a lot of over-analysis and over-reflection. Because I don't really think I'm a funny person. People sometimes say, oh, you're so funny, oh, you're funny. But I'm usually funny when I'm not trying to be. I'm not usually trying to be funny. People find me funny when I'm not even trying to be funny. But then also, similarly, it gets annoying when you just say you're in a group of people who know you or think they know you. I don't know, could be work colleagues or people who live in your area or whatever. And then you just say something really mundane. Say you're with I don't know, a group of friends or something, and you go to the newsagents to buy a packet of crisps or something, and then you go to the counter and then you say, oh, can I don't know, you say, oh, you're all out of Walker's crisps, you're all out of Walker's ready salted crisps, where are they all? And then the friend that you're with bursts out laughing and they're like, so funny, you're so funny. Yeah. When you just said the most tedious, most mundane, most stupidest thing, ever, but they're just like bursting out laughing like you said something funny when you wasn't even being funny and you wasn't trying to be funny. Like after a while, when you're just around people like this a lot of the time, yeah, it gets really annoying. Then even if you have a sense of humour, you even start to lose your own sense of humour yourself when you're just around a bunch of like jokers and clowns who just keep laughing like a bunch of hyenas, absolutely, things that are just like not even funny. So anyway, but yeah, what I'm saying is I'm quite, I don't know, I think my sense of humour, it doesn't translate, because I do have quite a dry sense of humour. Yeah, I do have quite a dry British, like deadpan sense of humour, and I do find when people don't really know me, when I meet strangers and like when I'm online, like now, yeah, talking to people who don't really know me, it just my sense of humour doesn't come across, very well. Yeah, they just don't, people I find just don't really tend to get me. Yeah, don't get my sense of humour.
Yeah.
And but I am quite a serious person. I'm just a normal, like, 5-dimensional, 6-dimensional, multi-dimensional human being with different facets to my personality. So I can be quite serious, and similarly, likewise, I can be quite light-hearted and jovial as well. I'm sure most of us are like that. We're like multi-dimensional beings with different like facets to our personality. But on social media, because social media is geared to capture and grab immediate attention, and this is the issue that I'm having at the moment with social media, that I do find sort of when I have to think too much about the content that I want to post and that I want to put out there, and how I'm coming across and how I'm being perceived on social media and all of this, and when I try to make use of the suggestions, to boost my pages, I just find that I feel as if myself, rather than being authentic, I feel like I'm just turning myself into a gimmick. Like, I feel gimmicky. So this is my issue at the moment, which is why maybe I don't implement some of the methods that are recommended. Because when I start to do that, I feel very silly, I feel gimmicky. But I suppose just like anything, that's what practice, the more practice you do, the more you do something, the better you get at it, I suppose. And another thing
to
I'm
this life.
finding about social media is that the feed keeps sending me, like, to my For You page, like types, like archetypal types of people. And I don't know, I feel that TikTok, hello, hi. Can you tap the screen at the live? Ali Shala, hello, how you doing? Tap the screen at the live, please, so we can win some matches. Yeah, like, there was a video that came on my feed, like it was yesterday, and the guy was explaining in his video that if you're not getting the views and the following that you're after, sometimes it's not always your content. He says it's not always that your content is bad. He said sometimes it's just the algorithm hasn't quite figured out who is your target audience. And I think that's possibly true of myself. And he said, if you're finding this, he says, when you go live or when you do posts, hashtag the type of audience, the type of people that you consider is your, like, target audience. Yeah, that's what he was saying. But to be honest with you, the only people on this app that make sense to me are life coaches, life gurus, life coaches and advisors, but a lot of them tend to be gay men. They're the only people really on this app that, the majority of them are the people on this app I would say I could sit down and like have like a conversation with. And the rest of the people that I keep coming across on this app I don't know, they're very much on here for laughing games, for fun laughing games. Which there's nothing wrong with fun laughing games. But I like to maintain balance in my life. I like to have balance. There's balance between fun laughter and games and seriousness. It should be like balance. Or people just bombarding you with all this advice and information. There should be like a balance. There should be an in-between. Yeah, but that's what I'm finding with media. The only people that I kind of resonate towards, are like gay men. To me, they just seem very level-headed. They seem to talk a lot of sense. A lot of these gay male advisors and coaches, very intellectual, very smart, and very when they talk, they know what they're talking about, and they're able to offer like sensible advice, sensible life advice. So then I thought to consider the suggestion that dude made in his video, which was maybe when I do I thought when I do lives, I should maybe hashtag my lives like mums of TikTok, Black British, Gen X, so that my content can be pushed out towards that kind of market, that kind of target audience that I think my content should be pushed out towards. But then I don't really want to do that, because then I think once you start labeling things and labeling your content, that actually also can limit you. And I don't want to limit. I don't want to put those limits on who my content is pushed out towards. I don't want to kind of put myself too much in a category, to say, oh, my content's only just for like a black audience, or oh, my content's only just for like mums at home, because I'm more versatile than that. I'm quite a versatile person. Or oh, my content's just for like older people, which reduces your content being pushed out towards like the younger generation. My content's very versatile, so I don't really want to do that. But what I may start doing is doing that on my posts instead. I may start doing more posts and then putting like more hashtags in them to reach a better target audience. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to start doing. And also another issue that I have, which I know is my issue, is that I have a very that's just the Brit in me. I'm very my character's very British, and so I'm very reserved, like emotionally, and I tend to try to keep my voice kind of flat, monotone, so that not too much emotion comes out in my voice. And I know that's another issue that I have, basically, when I'm like, this is another reason why it's like my humour, it doesn't come out. It's like my humour, yeah, it doesn't translate to people, yeah, because if I'm gonna be sort of like, hey, how you doing? Come join my live. Good vibes, people. Let's go. And be like on, as to say, like 24/7, like especially when I'm on media. I suppose it's not being fake, but I feel when I'm like that, as if I'm just like putting on a pretense or something. But I think that kind of mannerism is going to translate a lot better. But like I said, that's just the Brit in me, because we all get like trained, we all get brainwashed here in the UK to speak as monotone and as flat as you humanly possibly can, and show as little emotion and express in your voice as little emotion as you possibly humanly can, just like a BBC newsreader. That's just like the UK thing. Yeah, that's just kind of, so I'm very much like MK Ultra Monarch programmed in that way, with the UK program. That's why it's like the Brit in me. What can I do about it?